If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel more than you believe, and I hope you enjoy the what if. Izuku Midoriya is walking down a desolate street. The lights are dimmed as class was over almost hours ago. He's going on his nightly stroll. As he's walking down the street, he can only think to himself of what Bakugo said earlier that day. That he needs a quirk to be a hero, and maybe if he jumped off a bridge or a roof, maybe in his next life he might have a quirk. As Izuku is walking down a tunnel, a manhole opens. Green slime starts to appear and attacks Midoriya, as Midoriya would struggle for his life. No, not like this. I don't want to die like this, he would think to himself. But his resisting became, well, useless. His death was at this point inevitable. Until he saw a red blur. A guy with red hair and a black cape who would punch the slime away. The slime monster would look at this man. You're red-haired, as this man would emit some aura, a red aura, as the slime monster would then pass out to the due to fear. Izuku would look at this red-haired man. Thank you, sir. As the man would look at Izuku. No problem. What's your name, kid? Izuku would look at the red-haired man. My name's Izuku Midoriya. The red-haired man would reply. Red-haired Shanks. But just call me Shanks. You gotta be careful now. As the man began to walk away, the green slime monster began to rise up and would attack the red-haired man as Izuku would yell, "Watch out!" The red-haired man would turn around before the slime monster jumped, as he already knew what was going to happen. But even then, Midoriya did not see that Shanks was aware, so he went to go punch the slime monster due to instinct. What Shanks saw that night was potential. When Izuku threw that punch because he believed he was saving another man's life, he felt a strange energy in it. Shanks would look at his arm as it was pitch black. Shanks would smile. Looks like I found them. Izuku would punch the slime monster and the slime monster would crash into the wall. Izuku would look at his palm. I did that? His palm would shake. I could do this this entire time? He would begin to question himself as Shanks would walk up. So, you're the lucky few, huh? Izuku would look at Shanks. What do you mean? Shanks would then begin to explain to the green-haired boy. There's only a lucky few humans, quirkless humans. You see, even though we were quirkless, we were still genetically designed with a special trait. This is called Haki, your life energy incarnate. It's the same thing I have, and it's obviously something you have. Izuku would look up and down. To think of it, he does know of red-haired Shanks. The fact that nobody knows his quirk. Shanks would then state, I'm a hero without a quirk. And you're a quirkless boy. I have a question. Do you want to be a hero? Izuku would shake his head in a ton of excitement as red-haired Shanks would extend his arm. Alright then, tomorrow at 6 a.m. meet me at the beach. Your training will begin. As Shanks would walk off, dragging the slime monster with him. This was the beginning of Izuku's life. New life. He went back to his house and he tried to sleep, but the excitement just was too much. He began chuckling. This could be it, a new beginning. He can be a hero. He was already accepted into UA, and now he can get a power, an ability to boost. Because of this, Izuku woke up at 5:30 a.m. instead of 6 and went to the beach with a tired expression. Alright, Here is the basic gist of Haki. Since you came here early, you're gonna have breakfast in 10 p.m. And Izuku would have a shocked expression. Don't you mean AM? No. Haki requires relentless training, especially when you're just starting to understand it. So no, your breakfast is now at 10. It was gonna be at midnight. Izuku, still excited but now worried. This could kill him, but it would allow him to have a quirk in a sense, as Shanks would begin to explain. Haki, it's your life energy. Every quirkless person has it, but people with quirks can't attain it. It's just harder for them than it is for us. Because, well, it is in our genetics, so we can compete with the quirk havers. Izuku would chuckle. So, how do I turn it on? It's your will. You gotta turn it on by yourself. There's 3 types. Depending on which one you turn on first, I'll base your training off that. There's the most common type, armament. The second most common type, observation. And the most rare type of them all, conquerors. Conquerors is 1 in a million. I'll be surprised if he can attain that one first. Izuku closed his eyes. Shanks basically told him, breathe, empty your mind, and allow your will to take over you. I'm gonna throw something at you. Depending on your reaction, I'll base your training off it. Shanks grabbed a basic rock. Close your eyes now. Izuku closed his eyes as Shanks would throw a rock at him. Izuku had a feeling something was heading towards him. It wasn't going to be in front of him. In fact, it was in the side, hitting around his left ear. He dodged. Observation. Good. Well, it's going to be a lot easier to train you then. Izuku would be confused. Observation? It's your basic Haki. But I smashed that slime guy into the wall. Yeah, that may be true, but it doesn't mean that's your basic standard Haki. The way your Haki wants to manifest is, well, when you feel in danger. So Izuku from then on would try and practice his observation Haki, and then eventually would get into armament. It was a lot easier than observation. All he had to do was imbue his will into his fist, and would begin to train like that by punching rocks, boulders, punching his fist into the sand, basic stuff like that. Conquerors was the hardest though. As Shanks said, it's 1 in a million. I happen to be the lucky few who happens to have Conqueror's Haki. It's not impossible, but it's improbable. You're probably not going to be able to access it. It's not important, but if you are against another Haki user with Conquerors, you're most likely not going to win. Izuku kept on training until the 10 months were over. He got the observation down to a T. He can now react to almost anything. Well, react doesn't mean his movement speed can keep up. His armament Haki still needed a few more work. At the moment, he can't even break a 10-ton boulder. But he is still strong regardless, being able to keep up with Shanks in a way. Before Izuku were to head off to the UA entrance exam, Izuku and Shanks would have one last spar. Okay, now for you to prove to me that you're ready. If not, we're trying this again next year. Izuku would be kinda nervous. I had to wait a whole nother year in UA. I don't know if I can. He cleared his mind. He breathed. And he looked at his goal dead on. Shanks got into a basic fighting stance as Izuku would do the same. Shanks stated, all you gotta do is get 1 hit on me. Don't worry, I'm not gonna go all out on you. And the only Haki I'll use is observation. That sound fair? Izuku would still be nervous. You're still strong without either of those. But I guess. Shanks would chuckle in his mind. He doesn't know anything about advance yet. This could be fun. As then he would yell, begin. Izuku would charge at Shanks with a Haki-filled punch, but Shanks would dodge, and then would throw a punch back. Izuku would use observation to try and move out the way, but the punch still landed, only grazing his face. Izuku threw another punch, and this went on for around 30 minutes. Izuku was punching and punching and punching, but Shanks kept on dodging, weaving, almost hitting Izuku. He slowed down his movement speed so Izuku could understand what he's doing wrong. Eventually he did. Why is he only throwing punches? The part of the Haki training was acrobatics. Of course, that's what he's doing wrong. He's throwing punches, he's limiting himself. And thus he began to throw punches, kicks, began to do flips, began to do cartwheels. It didn't matter. At this point, all he needed was one hit using observation, but it just wouldn't work. Eventually, the UA entrance exam would begin in 10 minutes, and it is a 20-minute ride there. And Izuku's will surged as a green energy would blast for a blip, and Shanks would smile. The test is over. Izuku would panic. Did I failed, didn't I? I didn't even get a hit on you. Shanks would smile. No, there was another win condition. I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to worry. Izuku would be confused as he was huffing and puffing due to exhaustion. Your conqueror's Haki. Did you not feel it? A surge of your will. It went out of your body and then went to everywhere else. If I didn't have more advanced conqueror's Haki than you, well, I would have been knocked out. Congratulations, Izuku, you pass. Now, let's get you to the exam. After Shanks did an equivalent of speeding, Izuku Midoriya happened to get to the UA entrance exam in time, in his whole outfit and everything. They went to an auditorium where President Mike began to speak. Welcome, the future students of UA. This is the exam. You already passed the written test, so you know basic stuff. But now it's the battle training. Can you do it? Well, let's see if you have what it takes. Izuku began to stutter. Oh no, I don't know. I'm so exhausted after training with Shanks. Maybe I don't have the energy for this. All he gave me was a stupid energy bar. That's not gonna fill me up fast. As Ida would raise his hand, Izuku kind of blanked out for a bit. President Mike, how come you're lying to us? As President Mike would be confused, Ida would then reply, you said there are 3 robots, but there's 4. The first pointer, second pointer, third pointer, and 0-point robots. How can we trust you if you're gonna blatantly lie to us like that? President Mike would then state, it's a 0-pointer robot. You don't need to destroy it. You're supposed to just get out of its way. Ida would then yell at Izuku, and you, with your mumbling, shut up. Izuku would stare back at Ida. I'm sorry, sir. He didn't seem like he was going to back off, but he didn't want to start a confrontation, not this early into his hero career. And thus, President Mike then led the way to the battleground beta. As Izuku was kind of nervous, he was looking around frantically. So many other people seem to know what they're doing. As the gates opened, Izuku began to be confused as President Mike would yell, there are no countdowns in a battlefield. Go. As Izuku would sprint, he may have been out of energy, but with armament Haki and his legs, he almost felt nothing. So it was a little bit of a boost. Far into the exam, Izuku was ranking up points. Because he could frequently use his quote-unquote quirk, which he still was registered not to have one, it was easy to rank up points unlike the original. Izuku had around 55 points. and was still climbing the ranks, eventually getting 65, 75, even being able to break a record of 79 points. After this, the 0-point robot was called to test Izuku mainly. Izuku originally was just going to run away from it, but then he used his observation haki. There was a girl right there. All these people are running away, we're cowards. He would have to think of a way to get up there, and then remembered his armament haki. He can use the windows as a, let's say, makeshift staircase, as he used armament haki to crash to the windows and began sprinting up them, eventually leaping off the top of the building into the 0-point robot's head. He'd cock back his fist, imbuing it with armament haki, and punching the robot, creating a giant crater in its face. It would be knocked back. Since he had armament haki, he just let himself fall. Eventually, he took the girl and began to run away. The exam was over. Recovery girl went to go see the young girl and just fixed her leg a little bit. She thanked him and then introduced herself. My name's Ichako Uraraka. As Izuku would nervously state, my name is Izuku Midoriya. As then the exam was over, everybody went home. Izuku was waiting for Shanks, as Shanks ordered him to meet him at the beach. Shanks took Izuku's letter and handed it to him. Izuku would ask how Shanks got this, and Shanks simply stated, I stole it. It wasn't that hard. Like I wasn't even there. Open it up, I want to see it. Izuku would open up the letter, and the projection of All Might would then appear. Izuku Midoriya, you did remarkable in this test. Even without a quirk, you managed to get the most points. 80 points. Congratulations. But that's 80 villain points. You got 60 rescue points. Congratulations. You're able to top the chart. You're accepted into UA. Although we might ask some questions. How are you able to do these feats, these stunts, quirkless? Maybe we have to update. Maybe you're a late bloomer. Izuku would begin to smile as Shanks would begin to laugh. Izuku would ask why Shanks is laughing, as Shanks would then state, don't you understand? You're so strong that they think you have a quirk. See, this is what happens when you train hard. We're going to continue our training even when you're in UA. Remember that. Now, get into there and have some fun. Izuku shaked his head, crying, as he wanted to give Shanks a hug, but Shanks already opened his arms. They hugged, and then they parted ways. That's the end of What If Izuku Had Haki Part 1. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. See you later.